discussed not only the main reasons, but also the process. But I think what can be a little scary is just hearing lawsuit in general. And so what are some of the obligations that the client is going to have on that side? Because it's not just a hands-off process at this point.
Definitely. I mean, the client has to be fully involved as well. And we do all the major work, but we need the involvement of the client, especially when it comes to the discovery process. One of our paralegals in the office will contact the client and go through some detailed questions that need to be answered. A lot of it involves past medical history. It might involve employment history. It might involve other things that are issues in the case. The client has to be readily available to assist us in getting that information from the client. And obviously, if an oral deposition is going to be taken, the client has to submit to that deposition. And if the case goes to trial, you may have to submit to, taking a few days or a week of your life while the case is being decided in court. So it's a joint effort. Obviously, we work closely with the clients, and our paralegals work closely with the clients to put together the best argument we can to further the claim. But we all have an obligation to do something here.
Definitely. If you had to put a percentage on it, how important would you say the client's cooperation with your process is? Because sometimes the client might not agree, and it's obviously your job to be the facilitator and help them make the best decision. Ultimately, it's up to them.
Okay, it's definitely the client definitely has to be committed to and place their faith and trust in us. Be committed to taking our advice, because we've been doing this for a long time. But they also have to commit some time and effort into the matter. Most of this, every case that goes through litigation, eventually we go to what's called a mediation conference. And that's where all the parties get together with a neutral party, a mediator, to see if the issues can be resolved. The client has to be fully involved in that process. Now, even though we fully represent the client and do everything we can, it's the client who we ultimately work for. And it's the client who ultimately decides whether a case is going to get settled or not. It is our job to make sure that we give the client as much information and advice as possible, to make sure the client makes an informed decision when it comes down to that. But it is more involved from a client's perspective when a case goes into litigation than it would be if the case didn't go into litigation. There's a lot more activity that the client has to be involved in.